Welcome back to my channel. If you're watching for the very first time, hello, my name is Staecha. I go by Namaste on Instagram. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, thank you so much for watching my video. As you can see by the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about why I left Jamaica. So if you're watching this, I am posting this video on the anniversary of my 1 year move anniversary. That's not a word. I'm fully cognizant of that fact. Don't come for me. So I came to Japan exactly 1 year ago. Like, that's kind of mind-boggling that a year went by so quickly. But I wanted to do this video to mark the anniversary of my departure from Jamaica, and I also wanted to share a little bit of why I left Jamaica. Don't ask me why Japan. I get that question so often, and to be very honest, I don't have a specific answer to give you guys, except that I knew that I wanted to leave Jamaica. I wanted to leave Jamaica, but I did not want to go to any other of the first world countries to teach. I didn't want to go to the US, Canada, or UK to teach because I felt like it would have been more of the same. And I'm getting into a lot of the things that I will get into. So go ahead, hit the subscribe button, like and comment below. It helps me to know what you guys think about my content, but it also helps YouTube to know that people rock with me. So if you rock with me, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment in the comment bar below. I always respond to comments that people make, so go ahead and comment as well. So let's get into the video. So the first thing I want to get into is why I left Jamaica. Now, I want to get into a number of things, but before I do so, this is my truth, and I don't want anybody getting offended by it. But the truth is also that if you have a problem with me and what I'm saying, that's honestly your problem, because at the end of the day, I'm going to stand in my truth, and I'm going to be my authentic self at all times, as much as I can possibly control. So if you're offended by anything I say, if you're a family member or someone who's known me for years, the intention is not to offend, but to speak my truth. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say. One of the reasons why I left, for those of you who don't know backstory, I am a professional teacher. I'm a trained teacher. I graduated from the University of the West Indies in the year 2016 with a bachelor's degree in education, majoring in literacy study. So I am a trained teacher. So when I graduated university, I began teaching at a high school in Jamaica, and I taught there for 3 years. Now, mark you, I would not say that I'm regretful of the 3 years that I spent there teaching. In a lot of ways, I grew as a person and I grew as a professional, and it expanded my professional repertoire. So I would never say that I regret teaching there, but teaching there, if I stayed there any longer, I found that my mental space was being corroded, and it was being corroded on so many levels. Dealing with toxic teachers who are colleagues, dealing with toxic students, dealing with toxic parents. And it's not to say that every single person was like that, but there were persons who gave off toxic energy, and I felt saturated in that kind of environment, and it was just not working out for me. So I had to do what was best for me as a person and as an individual, and I knew that I was outgrowing the place to a large extent, and I needed to put myself in another environment where I was forced to grow in a different way. So that's the first thing. So the second reason why I left Jamaica is being a teacher in Jamaica is no joke. If you've taught in Jamaica and you know what I'm talking about, you'll understand my point very clearly. You're teaching 50, well, I was teaching, and this is not the same for every high school, but this is my experience. So I'm teaching upwards of 35 to 50 students in a class. I'm a teacher of language and literature, and so I have a lot on my plate, especially since that I was teaching the smaller kids, which meant that if I'm the teacher of language, I'm the teacher of literature. So when it came on to exam times, I had huge anxiety because I had to be marking 500 plus papers per term, or well, during the summer term, depending on how the exam was structured. So imagine having maybe two weeks or so to mark 500 papers, to sit there and to read 3 essays per student and get through all of that to ensure that the grades are uploaded. And I'm a form teacher, so to make sure all the other grades are uploaded for my students, and then to print report, to package them, all of that, I had to make sure that it was done. So it was extremely laborious in that sense. The workload was no joke. The students' attitude, I found myself becoming like super aggressive and super angry, and I had to escape that because I did not want to be the kind of teacher who was known for being angry for no reason. Because those students, they tried it. And there were days when I woke up, I didn't want to go to work. And while I was at work, I checked out so many times emotionally. And this is why I tell people like music is everything to me, because when everything is chaotic around me, I can plug in my earphones and I can tune out of that and get into a place of comfort where I don't feel like I'm going to go crazy. So it was a whole lot. And like I said, unless you are a teacher in Jamaica or have been a teacher, it's difficult to understand. So one of the other reasons why I left Jamaica, simply put, I felt like I couldn't be myself. And what I say by that is, I mean that on multiple levels. So let's get into that. I grew up in a very strict Seventh-day Adventist household. And by strict, I mean I wasn't allowed to wear any hair extensions as a child. I think the first time I had any form of hair extensions, I was graduating high school. So by that time, I was 16, 17. It was the first time hair extensions grazed the scalps of my head. So I wasn't allowed to wear any of that. I wasn't allowed to wear jewelry. I wasn't allowed to wear spaghetti strap out. I wasn't allowed to eat certain things. We didn't eat pork, shrimp, lobster, any of those things. We didn't drink alcohol for sure. Piercings was definitely a no-no. And so when I got the chance to explore the world, I began realizing that this isn't what I want for myself, you know. I don't want to live my life based on the expectations of others. And it was becoming extremely difficult to be myself, especially since when I was in Jamaica, I was living with my parent, my mother at the time. And I got my first piercing this when I started working as a teacher in Jamaica, and then I pierced my ears again. So I have 4 piercings, 2 on each ear, and then I pierced my navel as well. And let me tell you, if you know how Christian parents behave, it was not cute when my mother found out. It was not. She wasn't very happy about it. And then to top it all off, I'm into makeup with these long ass lashes, and I'm into hair extensions and all of that. Now, all of that and who I was becoming as a person and my interests were changing, and it was not in line with what they wanted for me. Now, because of that, it was causing a rift. And it was causing a rift because here it was, my parents, my family, everyone expected me to be a certain way, to speak a certain way, to live a certain way. But on the other hand, I wanted to do me the way I wanted to do me. And it wasn't just my parents or my family, it was people who knew me from high school days, even before that. I felt like I could not be myself because I grew up in a church, like I said, and where I was working was where I also lived all my life. So everyone who saw me changing, everyone had an opinion about it, and it wasn't necessarily okay. I understand. It wasn't respectful. It was like, oh, you're doing this, you shouldn't be doing this, it should be this way and not this way. So I felt like I could not authentically thrive as a person, because if I made a move that was not in line with the box that was created pre-create that was created for me already, that it would have been a problem. And I felt like I was walking around on eggshells. No, people might say, oh, it's so dramatic that you move all the way to Japan. Like, it's not that I was trying to run that far away from people, but I needed the opportunity to find myself truly, to morph into the woman I want to be, to give myself the space and the time to figure out who I am without wondering what he, she, they will say about who I am and who I choose to be as a person. So being in Japan has given me the avenue or the latitude to evolve as a person, to figure out what I like and don't like about myself, to figure out what works for me, and I can do so without the overbearing opinions of everyone else who has an idea of what I should be doing, who I should be. So I don't have that nagging soul in the back of my head, nor do I have this nagging feeling that there is going to be someone coming around the corner anytime soon saying, oh, you weren't raised that way. You shouldn't do this. You weren't raised like that. Oh, I prefer you like this. I prefer you wearing this. I prefer you wearing that. I prefer. Like, I prefer if you leave me alone to do me. I prefer that. Moving to Japan and why I left, one of the reasons why I left, honestly, I just wanted, in addition to all of what I just said, I wanted to give myself new experiences. I wanted to travel. And trust me, guys, in as much as the money aspect of it isn't that worthwhile, the experience of meeting new people with whom you would not meet from all over the world if I were in Jamaica, for example, it has given me so much lessons. I've gotten so much lessons from it. I've made so many new experiences. I can say that I've made friends. I've gone on date with men who have been from different cultural backgrounds, different perspective, different ideology, different way of thinking. Not just men, but just women and men in general who I've met on a platonic level or on another level or an intimate level. So I can say that it has broadened my scope on a lot of things, and it has in a lot of way reassured old feelings that I've had for myself, but it has also changed old feelings into new ones or expanded upon them in a lot of ways as well. So I can safely say that moving to Japan has been one of the best decisions that I've made in my entire life. And I'm not even going to second guess or to lie to you. Japan is not perfect. I'm not going to be lying to you and tell you that, oh, it's a euphoria, it's a utopia. I won't lie to you. There is no perfect country. But at the same time, there are a lot of things that are better here. And in the same breath, there are a lot of things that are better in Jamaica. But at the same time, if I'm going to pick the lesser of the two evil, Japan would win in a lot of ways. So I can't even believe it's been a year, but here we are. And I feel so free. And I've never in my entire life felt this level of freedom before. I feel like I can be myself. Staecha, I can be Staecha. I'm not anybody's sister, anybody's daughter, anybody's niece, anybody's mentee. I'm not anybody's anything. I'm just myself doing me in my space, in my time, on my own term. And that is a powerful thing It's also very addictive, but I can't lie to you. I'm happy. I'm at peace with a lot of things, and I'm not saying that you're going to come from wherever you're coming from to Japan and have that, because the truth is Japan isn't for everyone. But the truth also is that your perception and your attitude towards a lot of things will determine your experiences here. Where you are too will determine that as well. But for me personally, Japan has been good to me so far. I can't complain. I mean, I could complain, but I won't complain, because if I were in Jamaica, I'd be complaining too. And if I were in America, I'd be complaining too. So I won't complain. I'm going to be positive about the experiences that I've had, good and bad, because some of the best lessons come from the most horrific things that we've gone through. So I think I've rambled on a lot. Chances are a lot of you have clicked up and you haven't made it to this far in the video. So if you've made it here, hopefully you learned something about me, learned more about why I left Jamaica. And I like, guys, it's been a year. Like, it's crazy how much time has flown by. It's crazy. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and help me get to 500 subscriber by the end of August. I'm at 550. Girl, stop. Bye. I'm at 350 by the time I'm filming this video. So please, I would appreciate it if you guys would help me get to 500 subscribers by the month end. And I appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you so much for watching my video. Again, follow me on my Instagram to stay up to date with my daily happenings. And see you next time in the next video. I love you guys. Bye.